Hey everybody, Bonin Bough here. I sent out a post on LinkedIn asking people to continue to ask me questions. I love just kind of problem solving with people and seeing if I have any thoughts on some of the thoughts that they have. So I'm going to answer a few. Stephen Walker sent me a question about what about entrepreneurship education. I think that is actually the right question, probably the hardest thing to actually learn. One of the speeches I gave around talent was had a thing in there where I showed there was education and training for almost every skill set that's moved business forward ever since the assembly line, electricity, I mean all these kind of things, the Industrial Revolution. But entrepreneurship actually doesn't have any structured kind of certified education play to date. Many of the top business schools do have classes and courses that talk about entrepreneurship, but again, there's not like a real body that is dedicated to that type of education. What I tried to do was, when I was at a large organization to help the people on my team, I tried to move them and put them inside of entrepreneurial organizations. So like we did Mobile Futures, which we took our teams and had them work for startups. It was a Startup Meet Brand Accelerator. We had them work for the startups for a week to begin to think about how to think more entrepreneurial. So I think the big answer to you is that you have to figure out how to piece that curriculum together for yourself. What events do you go to? What leaders do you listen to? Is there a way for you to kind of create, I believe in deep immersion. So how can you find a company that is entrepreneur and maybe you can just work out of there? Or maybe you join that kind of company. But I think that it's that realistically, and I love that you said rockstar educator and entrepreneur motivating minds. But the reality is to your point, is that there's not a lot of traditional educational or even structured educational opportunities. This is Chabby Go, text to buy. So I'm guessing you're asking, what do I think of that? I think it's genius. And so I've been laser focused on building out commerce plays inside of many of the portfolio companies, technologies. I think that is part of the future. I think we're going to see just a ton of it coming down the pipeline. In fact, when one of the things that I was the first to launch was really this click to buy. Content meets commerce is what I used to talk about, and the buy now button in social. And so that buy now button, if you go back and look in the annals, I launched the first big play with the buy now button, turning every single piece of media into a purchasable moment. Danita asked me, she said, I want to know how I can grow my career. How can I use the success that I've had in sales to become an entrepreneur? Well, first I think you have to figure out what you're passionate about and what you want to actually do in terms of what area you're going to target, what you're going to focus on. So I definitely think that your sales background will be huge, as it tends to be for most people, because that's pretty much what the end of this game is, really, which is being able to sell somebody, get somebody to take an action, get somebody to purchase, and doing all the things that line you up and get you ready for that. But I definitely believe that in terms of growing your career, and it looks like you're enterprise account manager, I think growing your career is to continue to figure out how to put those wins on the board in a visible fashion, in a way that people can see that you're the one putting those wins on the board, and that you remember the one thing I always say is that you're the only cheerleader that you really have, and so you have to be prepared to cheer as loud as possible for your team. So that's for you, Danita. That is LinkedIn in a nutshell. Keep writing in or text me directly, 646-759-1837. Watch B-Suite, subscribe to the Facebook page, subscribe to YouTube. Generally, just stay connected with me, because I'm here to provide as much insights and thoughts that I have, but more importantly, to try to push you to continue to push yourself as fast and furious as humanly possible. I'm out.